Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the 100K Bink or Bust Bankroll Challenge. We are currently up $8,200 in total throughout this challenge. It's been a little bit since we've streamed, 10 days or so. I'm trying to get back on track, but things have just been pretty busy, so keeping the schedule is not great. So we're going to see how this goes today. The stream, we'll try to get at least an hour in, but it is what it is. Even if we're just doing short streams, we're going to try to get back to at least doing it and keeping the updates rolling. Uh, Going to be going back to playing at a 100 and a 200 here soon enough. But for now, we're just kind of picking away at NL 50. We had that pretty much our biggest downswing we've ever went through, over 130,000 hands. We have since came out of it. For those of you guys new to the stream, started 2,500, trying to run it up to 100K. Originally, we had a timeline on it of 6 to 8 months. Then we hit that big, like the biggest downswing I've ever had in like my poker career. Um, which probably is a pretty small downswing compared to most, but 150K hands and about like 6 grand. It's quite a bit for us to downswing. But we have pulled out of it. Uh, we're almost back up to a couple thousand off of where we peaked out at originally. Uh, so yeah, we're just going to keep attacking this and kind of see where it goes. Looking to improve the stream. If you guys have any suggestions, make sure you do them out there for us. Uh, it's a bit harder with cash games because they don't have like a built-in storyline like tournaments do, so we kind of need to create our own. Um, Half pot on this board. It's kind of interesting play by him. Open ender. I think we call here just because of the open ender. And if he checks, we're just gonna jam it in. If he shoves, obviously we just fold, but we will shove if he checks to us. So we fold 4 bet. Trapco just calls. He's playing a ton of hands, so we're just gonna fold here. He's probably just telling us he has like pocket threes or pocket fours or something. King's not great. We do lose to ace king now, which is uh, going to be a pretty large portion of his range, but most of the time he gets it in. I don't know if he's going to be willing to call ace king on this flop. Um, I think we have to check here though, actually. Him checking back's really good. Now I think we jam for value. He could check back a king here for sure some portion of the time, but he's going to have like a lot of like sixes, sevens, ace, queen, pocket tens in his range. With that, I don't really think he's ever going to bet those at this rate. We do lose to queens, which isn't spectacular, but yeah, I think with jacks we just jam it in here after he checks back turn. I think his like king X gets it in. Um, oh, you're so gross. That's like a horrendous call with 10-9 suited, but of course we rivered. Unfortunately. Oh, there's the tilt back. Fuck me. Good lord. Just talking about getting out of our downswing and then move up to NL 100 and drop a buy-in instantly to a fucking 4-outer on the river. It's so tilting, man. Good lord, that's tilting. Maybe we should have shoved the king. I don't know. The 9 should be a pretty safe card. It checks back the king. Like, we're worried about ace king pretty much there, but not much else. So that's just super tilting, to be honest. And he slow rolled it too, which is even more gross. We 3-bet pre here. Yeah. Okay, we're just gonna see bet this board. We just see bet small. Take down. Man, that's frustrating. But anyways, this is kind of one of the reasons I generally try to avoid like double staking because it does tilt me. I won't lie. Uh, and we just get stacked at the big stake every time. Now I think we jam for value. Okay, let's get that. So I'm just fiddling with the stream here for a second. Okay, ace deuce, we're gonna fold. And sorry, just readjusting a bit on the stream. So anywho, yeah, a little bit tilting there, but I think the hand's played fine. You could argue going maybe a little bit bigger pre-flop on the 4-bet, but I don't really think so. 10-9 suited should just be a fold. I think people call way too often there. Um, like you're better calling 5-6 than 10-9. The reason being we have like Jack 10, Queen 10, King 10, Ace 10. So his hands just dominated. I have a bunch of like King 9, Queen 9 bluffs in there too. Ace 9 suited, etc. So like you're this 10-9 suited is a bad hand to call with. Um, Even if it is a smaller 4-bet, I think it should just be 4 fold, sorry, generally speaking. Does call sometimes, but you don't want to be calling the 3-bets and 4-bets when you're both your cards are going to be dominated by a 3-betting slash 4-betting range. But it is a pretty good table here. So we'll try to attack that a little bit more often here. Obviously, we're winning that hand like I think 90% of the time turn. So overall, pretty happy with it. Eights, you can probably just squeeze here. Probably a little bit better than just like calling. Once we call here, we're pretty much set mining. So I don't think it's very good actually. Should probably just fold or squeeze. Pretty much should be a squeeze 5-handed like 100%. We both check. Super unlikely real down D has a queen. Um, Checks again, and Bok checks back. He's not gonna have a queen either when there's like flushes out there. At least not too often. Maybe a slow played set, um, or a jack or something like that. I think we call here. I think it's gonna be tough for him to go full pot um, after checking flop back. If he goes full pot again, we'll probably just fold, but we'll definitely think about calling. Yeah. 23 hands, PFR of this, 50%. So there's no, like, all the draws miss is the issue here. Um, and does he ever do this, like, could have, he could have Queen 5, Queen 6, maybe. Queen 5 bets flop for sure. The flop check back's weird, but I think when a fish is, like, going full pot twice, um, I think it's going to be a lot more likely he just had, like, 5-6, Jack 5 suited, or Jack 6 suited, something like that, pocket sixes. Um, than it is, that he's going to have like King 10. But it's definitely close there. And this board was check back. And now we're going to be value betting the jack. We're going to fold the 7-2 suited. Raise the 9-8 suited. Games have actually been pretty good lately. Whoa. So when a guy's opening 6% and then goes to 4x, even ace-8 suited being this strong, I'm still folding. To a 4x open, Unless he starts doing this a bunch, but he's 130 hands in with a 75% VPIP and he's only opened 7% of the time. So I'm pretty happy just kind of getting out of the way when people are doing that. So we're gonna really try to get back to more often. Real world stuff's just been too busy lately to kind of have the time to do it. Uh, but I am thinking of doing a sort of like a film stream coming up where we'll see how far we can run up. I don't know, 50, it's like $40 or something. Just something small to show like you could go on a run. I don't know, like buying like four $10 tables and then have that as our set amount. So every time we double, we jump stakes. So when we have like a buy-in for the next stake, we'll jump. Play four tables. Once we run one of those stacks up to 25, we jump to NL 25. We run that up to $50. Then we jump to NL 50, and so on and so forth. Or maybe we just start with one table and we're gonna, try to run it up to 1,000, something like that. Like start at NL 25. And once we double that, we move to NL 50, double that, NL 100, double that, NL 2, and so on until we like take a shot at NL 1K or something. That'd be a pretty fun stream, I think. So I think we're probably do something like that in the near-ish future. This guy's opening a ton, stealing a ton, three betting a ton. Um, I'm not actually a super fan of my bet here. The reason being that he's just calling too much. So unless he's like folding flop a ton, we don't want to be three betting a bunch. If he is going to be folding flop a ton, then we want to be just like three betting all the time. If he's going to like raise call a bunch. So if you guys are new to the stream, feel free to subscribe. We definitely appreciate the support. Um, or just go watch another video, watch some shorts, check out the other streams. That really does help the channel. We are getting pretty cuspy to getting monetized on it. So, all the support helps. GG Poker is actually running a new promo for streamers where we do call here with third pair or second pair still. He's got a bunch of hearts still, some like ace X draws, etc. And then of course I'll have like pocket tens plus sometimes. But obviously with the open ender and bottom pair, we're just gonna bet. Okay, and then we're gonna value bet river. But they have 100% cash back while streaming if you can get approved. You basically need to have 40 concurrent viewers on average for 3 months to get there. Uh, if he shoves here, we are going to fold, unfortunately. Um, but it's relatively reasonably doable. And if we can play six tables on stream with 100% cashback, we'll make a ton of money. Um, it's a good spot to bluff as well. Four card flush comes in, the four, sorry, the three card flush comes in, and the four to a straight on the flop comes in. Um, because most villains at the like this is smaller stakes, talk NL 50, 25, bad or just like fish in general. But a lot of them will check back turn with all of their draws. You know what I mean? It's fine to check back turns some portion of the time with draws, especially if you think you're going to get check raised a lot. Smaller stakes, it's generally better to just keep barreling um, because villains do not check raise enough. Like if they have top pair, top kicker, they're not going to check shove on you almost ever when you bet flop, bet turn. Uh, and because of that, you know what I mean? You're still going to get to see the river for free, but you're also going to win the hand every time they have like third pair less, maybe even second pair less. Uh, so if you don't have to worry about getting check raised, then yeah, you should definitely be just like double barreling a lot. But yeah, so bankroll challenge, we're back up to like 8,100. So that's good. I'm pretty happy with that. Fold the 10-6. We'll let the 10-3 off go. Trap goat's obviously been running pretty hot. We will see bet the 399 board. He does quickly call. This is a spot where we're gonna double barrel a lot. But I haven't been playing with this guy a ton, so I think I'm just going to check and show down the king high. Nice. Ace rolls off, we get check two again. We'll check back as well with the 10. Um, I think we'll just check here. I don't know if we should be going for value there or not. Might have got called. He does play a lot of jacks this way, like checks flop and then the ace comes, so he checks again. We'll raise up the ace nine off. Yeah, to get 40 consecutive viewers, I think it's definitely doable for sure. Um, but we need to like find time to increase our stream excuse me, times, because normally we just do it in the morning, so we'd have to actually commit to doing like a late night stream or something like that. I think we'll squeeze here with the ace 10 off, cut off first, especially when this guy calls. Like he's just got such a wide range. It's going to be super profitable. And shovel spades plays relatively straightforward. So trap goat on this table is obviously our target. He's three betting like super wide, raising super wide, uh, everything else. And when shovel spades, paying four bets to 30 bigs instead of um, I think we just fold here. We do not have a hand that plays well post flop. We're not suited. Generally a little bit wide with ace 10, I think there. Ace 10 suited pretty much always, but with Bach being in there and shovel spades being relatively tight, um, we can widen that sort of cold four bet range because we're really only going to get shoved on um, by the nizzles, at least most of the time. Excuse me. I guess we can pull up August here. Why not, right? Okay, fold the ace queen. Gotta be careful having the lobby open. I've had a few tournaments, or sorry, I've had a few streams get flagged for promoting, um, I guess, stuff. I don't know if you're allowed to say the word or not, if it'll affect it. But anyways, for promoting stuff just from having the lobby open, so gotta be cautious keeping that up. Okay. Given his stack size, I'm just actually going to three bet pretty small. We want to keep him in. We want to give him a reason to think we could be bluffing here. We do flop a set, and I think we will go kind of small here. Yeah. You could also argue going for the check raise. He's just not aggressive enough, so we want to be betting. The biggest part of like when you three bet and you three betting with a strong hand and you have a strong hand that you flop, the whole point of checking that is to kind of balance your range and let the villains kind of attack what they perceive to be a weak range. So then you can go for the check raising stuff. But when you're up against a bunch of fish who are just going to be checking back to see their draws and stuff a ton, oh, what a sick river. Um, we just want to be betting most of the time because they're not going to put enough money in the pot when we have our aces and kings and stuff. Okay, we take that one down and we do collect over here. And we've got our, oh, we lost our big fish over here, unfortunately. So we'll just play around to our blinds, and that'll be it for this table. Multi-way with no diamond. We're just going to check here. We do block king queen, and they obviously don't have strong ranges very often here. I will stab this. I don't think we need to go very big. Fun Mock's going to play pretty straightforward because Dong Wan is in the pot. And we'll just check here. Yeah, I think if we'd have to go bigger on turn and then barrel river, probably better play. All right, call. All right, we'll just get it in here with the king jack. Actually, king queen now, I guess. Ah, nice turn card for him. Basically needed a queen or a jack there to win. Um, oh, missed to sit up. Right. Play through this big blind, small blind button, and then we'll sit out stand. And we will fold ace deuce 8 deuce suited. Full pot here. We're just going to let it go, stuck in the middle. Could argue maybe actually betting flops best there. A lot of their calling range is kind of on the board, like queen X's and jack X's and stuff. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so oops, and so we're gonna start min raising here. Top rate with only being four-handed. We are leaving this table. I think we'll just stab here. I think when we are stabbing, we want it bigger. Um, so let's just check out the month of August. There's an unfortunate drop with the jack there. Okay, 5x with the ace king. Don Juan calls, brick the flop. I think we'll check back. Okay, we'll check back again. And call one time here. This is actually bad with the sevens. Trying to get out of that flow, but it's actually better to be four betting a ton out of the small blind when you have villains that are playing a proper or even like a decent four bet range, even if it's a little bit tight, which it's going to be way tight for most people. And then you have a big blind villain who is never going to cold four bet without the nuts. Then you can just like pretty liberally just like four bet blast people. But yeah, month of August has been going pretty good so far. 16,000 hands. We're at 1,200. Pretty good for almost completely NL50. Running hot, obviously. Overall, not bad. Just a pretty big break-even stretch for the first 10K hands, but we've kind of come out of that relatively well. And opponents-wise, we're going to value bet the 10 now. Trap Goat just caught us. But other than that, we've pretty much been winning most of our hands. Yeah, pretty successful month for how much we've played so far. Like, look at this mid box: 10%, 8%, 4%. Probably should just probably had queen nine realistically. Called the set. I'm actually surprised he called the set. We do have a lot of flushes in our range there. But yeah, it makes sense that like you know, when he's raising, we just need to be folding. There's not really much else to it. So bit of a spew, uh, bit of a spew there this morning. It's one thing you need to watch out is giving people too much credit. I know there's like some people in the stream who've said maybe we don't give other regulars enough credit for being willing to do certain things. I just don't really see that. Every time we sit at a table and we think we're playing against somebody who's actually willing to do X, Y, and Z or bluff raise ever, or check raise bluff or this or that, never a thing. Every time. And we will fold king five suited to the three bet here. Holy moly. Where are the flops? Okay. Can't induce anything. Good lord. Queen's actually a good card sometimes to get paid. Six is obviously still going to call, and then you start to get calls from like king high and ace high in those boards. Okay. 8-4 offsuit. We're just going to fold that. Fold the 9-4. Raise the 6-3. If you guys are just joining the stream, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And please go check out some other videos, check out some shorts, check out the other streams. They all really do help promote the uh, channel, help us grow. We're so close to getting the first sort of level of monetization there and actually getting pretty close to the full-blown monetization there. So we're going to really try to get back to buckling down, at least in the mornings. Even if they are just short streams, it kind of keeps the watch hours at least on par or going up slowly. But anyways, yeah, we're gonna try to pull out of. I'm just kind of floating around at NL50 right now. We got to start to back up. You know, a little not super trigger happy for it right now. But again, the whole point of this challenge is to run up. So we got to get back to it. It is getting a bit later in the day for me, though. I mean, it's only 7 a.m., but I got to get going here shortly-ish. But let's see how this all plays out. The queen 8 off. I'm just going to 3-bet this guy. Most of our hands against these guys playing so much are like, as long as they're willing to fold post flop, our hands are just going to play so much better in a 3-bet because they're just calling too wide. So unless you have a massive station, like you want to be just blasting them and stealing huge pots post flop. But you want to be like more kind of polarized where you're, you know what I mean? You're 3-betting a ton of your value and stuff uh, and whatnot. Or sorry, you want to be not polar because you want to be 3-betting like anything that's kind of like decent value. But being cautious with like the ace seven, ace six, ace five, like those types of hands. But like your king queens, your king jacks, all those types, you want to be out of the big blind. Even you just want to be building the pot. I think a little bit against these guys who are playing so many hands and calling dominated so often, and then just playing so straightforward post flop where they're just literally you bet, they call, you bet, they call, you bet, they fold. They check raise their nutted hands on the turn. They check call all their draws. They hit their draw in the river. They lead into you because they're scared you're going to check back, which is the only thing they do, which is pretty good actually, because most villains are not going for enough value or thin value on the river. So when draws do get there, they will check back a significant amount of the time. So if you've been chasing at a position, then the like river donk lead's actually pretty good. Another set for this guy it's, is actually pretty strong. Nice answer. But yeah, we gotta really try to get these longer so that we can actually get. Um, oh, I had the one outer. Um, really try to get up to that 40 consecutive viewership going, which I think is definitely doable, but it's kind of on us at this point um, to kind of get back to putting in the time. Um, and trying to actually put in longer streams, but this guy is running hot. Oh, he's taking out the fish too. That sucks. But yeah, bit of a heater for our good sir Shovel Spades. Fold Jack nine. Yeah. Okay, well, it is just going to be a short little, stream today. Mostly kind of just updating everybody. We still are kind of working on the challenge. We are going to try to find some better ways to improve the stream. Going to try to get back to making videos like even just one a week would make a huge difference, right? To kind of bump viewership and watch time and everything. So I'm going to try to stream and then try to piece together at least a video throughout the week. Um, whether it's cutting clips of the stream or just a different kind of video. Um, or kind of, whatever. But try to do something to keep everybody kind of coming back to the videos, watching the streams, like all that kind of stuff. This guy's just going to have mostly small pocket pairs here pre-flop when he just calls. Now, when he calls flop, it's a good chance he's going to have like, sometimes he'll have like king jack, queen jack, 10 jack, uh, those types of hands. It's not very often going to have like pocket kings, pocket queens, pocket tens, pocket eights. So we just want to attack here. Ace jack shouldn't really be in his small blind calling range too often. The fact that he's shoving here suggests that it likely is. Ace jack exactly, like ace jack hearts or something. But he does have king 10. That's an overplay for sure. Run it 3 times. No, I run it twice. 3 times is too much. Um, that's good. Nice little double up there. But that's actually a bit of an overplay, I think, from him with king 10. When we bet overbet. Um, I could be wrong though. Maybe I could be too nitty um, to think that maybe it's a bit of an overplay, but I think mm, I guess against me it's fine because I'm gonna have a ton of draws, but I'm not gonna have that many. You know what I mean? Like on this board, on turn, we're never overbetting like king jack, queen jack, jack 10, ace 10, ace queen, maybe ace king, and king queen. Um, some portions of the time, king 10. Never queen 10 is overbetting. The heck? Bet calls, and he just smashes full pot on the turn. Kind of not sure what to think here. I don't want to just call because we have top pair. He's never bluffing, I wouldn't think. Hmm. I think I'm just gonna fold. Kind of just believe him. Okay. We do double barrel. Diamond rolls off on the river. He donk leads full pot into us. See, this is where it's tough. Um, because this is just super nutted all the time. The issue is if he watches the stream, which I kind of think he might, after we just kind of talked about this. Um, I don't think he's ever going to donk lead out here with um, yeah, he doesn't have jacks plus because he didn't three. Not going to be beating an overpair. Pretty much every draw that, or at least a good portion of the draws get there. Pocket sevens, pocket eights, pocket fives. All the diamond draws, we block no diamonds. Doesn't really bluff enough. Bit of a hero fold here, I think. But we'll have to leave him, I think, this time, potentially. Queen ten's probably a little, like, theoretically, queen ten's way too strong to fold there to just a pot size like donk lead on the seven river. Um, but that's kind of going to be one of the biggest, um, I don't know if you'd call it a money maker, but money saver. Like for stakes, it's just going to be like mass overfolding. Because this is probably bluffed like 1 in 10 times, maybe somebody bluffs here. Or is it like 1 in 10 times? Maybe somebody bluffs here. Ace 10, I think you just have to call because he could do that with like king 10, queen 10, jack 10. But we lose to the majority of tens in his range and like the weaker tens. I will call the king 7 suit here. The weaker tens are just not going to donk lead there. The most likely scenario is he check called the flush draw, check called the flush draw, and then got there with the flush draw. Uh, the only thing, as much as this guy's tight, he's obviously a decent player. That potentially would make me think he is bluffing some portion of the time. Is that board's paired, and we're super deep. So if he goes pot there and I shove and he has a flush, he's great. Um, but he could also be thinking he doesn't want to check shove the flush. Hmm. I don't know. We'll see. I think I might fold realistically if somebody's donk leading pot into you after check calling, after call like check call, and then they lead pot when the flush and straight. I think folding should be your lean to it. Ace 10, I'm never folding. Just on the chimes, he does have like 10x. But in that spot, like for them to be willing to bluff is pretty difficult, I think, is what the reality is there. Especially because we can have tons of flush draws here, right? Like once the board pairs, like I continue barreling a ton on the turn with flush draws because now their value is still pretty strong, but it's like less detrimental to like bet a flush draw and get raised on a paired board because it's just so likely they have uh, boat. And then when you do hit the river, it's going to be pretty difficult on a paired board to get all the money in and still have the best hand. Um, Less so if you have like the nut flush because then you get called by worse flushes. But if you have like a queen high, jack high, 10 high like flush, then or like lower cards, like barreling the turn's great there because they just fold so often, and then when they do check raise, you're fine with it because you're mostly just losing to like a bigger flush draw, you know, combo draws with like a bigger hole card than you without the ace, or just like a nutted hand that's already there. Mind you, when there's a flush draw out there and the board's paired, you don't want to be check raising your boats too often, because people do start to fold their on paired boards. Like you don't want to be chasing to hit a hand that's gonna like get you stacked by the nuts. So you're better off to like check call, you're like your boats on this like on this board specifically. If he had like 8, 10, 10, 5, pocket eights, pocket fives, pocket tens, uh, he's better to check a lot of the time, um, on the turn and then just like check shove rivers, right? If you check raise the turn, it's realistically, I'm sure I've done it a ton, without this logic. The reality is, if you check raising this turn with, say, pocket eights, uh, you're just lighting money on fire. Because one, there's tons of straight draws, tons of flush draws, tons of 10x out there, and he's barreled flop, barreled turn. So if he check raised me with a boat on turn, it would be terrible, right? You want to check call turn, and then no matter what the river is, you're going to check again. Because say the seven of diamonds in this scenario were shovel spades, right? We want to, and we had pocket eights. We're going to check call turn, like check call flop, make the boat on the turn, check call turn, and then we're going to check river to him. Because if he has flush now, he's going to get it in. If he has straight, he's going to get it in. Um, if he has pocket fives, he's going to get it in. If he has pocket sevens, he's going to get it in. If he has 10x, he's going to value bet. Um, so all of those hands are still going to bet river. And and then when he misses, like if he bricked completely, um, with say like I barreling with like queen jack or something like that, like queen jack spades, and then kept barreling something like that. But anyways, all of his bluffs that miss, like me, if bet flop bet turn and he goes check call, like on this river, all my value bets, and then there's a bunch of bluffs I can still sort of along with, right? So check raising at any point with like a nutted hand on a board like this is generally not great. There's lots of times you should just be check raising. Like if you're going to check raise, you need to check raise the flop and then barrel turn and then shove river. Like if you check raise the turn in that spot, once you boat up, it's not good play because so much of his draws just fold and all of his value is almost always going to continue barreling on river. And if you check raise, like pocket kings are just going to fold and stuff, right? Um, as long as like I think we have to call here, and we're getting the odds to call as long as he doesn't have pocket aces or ace king. That's unfortunate. Oh, and he's got the spade too. Well, we're running it twice. We still have a chance. No hearts is nice. Let's put some hearts up this time. Seriously? Nice. Hold. All right, it's good to chop. It's always good to chop. Okay, well, we are gonna have to kick it to the bucket here soon because I have too much shit to do. All right, we're gonna fold the 10-8 off. The only negative with streaming every day is like everybody wants updates on the bankroll. Oh, the Bach makes the straight and just gets stacked still. It's too bad. Um, and we're trying to avoid watching daily because it's too tilting. Unless you need to watch your stack to make sure you're not dipping out of proper like bankroll management, then checking every day is just detrimental to your health big time. And it even like sucks the fun out of it, right? Like if you are crushing the games and say you're winning Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you win at 15 BBs per 100, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you break even or you lose, right? So now you've gone from 15, 16, 17 BBs per 100 to like 11 or 12 come Monday or worse. But you're mentally, if you just look on Sunday and you see perfect, played at 11 to 12 BBs per 100 all week, you're going to be super happy versus if you're checking every single day and the first 4 days of the week, you're winning at 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 BBs and you have all, you know what I mean? And you're up $1,000. You're going to be pissed when you come back. Like you're going to be pissed if you lose the next 3 days, right? Like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you lose each day. So to the point where you're now instead of being up 1,000, you're only up 500 come Sunday. But if you only checked on Sunday and you played all week, you're going to be ecstatic that you played at a very solid win rate. You know what I mean? So it's kind of just like a mental thing that you got to tweak around. And we're kind of learning that. And we're trying to focus, honestly, on really just not checking results through the week, like just Monday's result check day. And wherever we end up, it's kind of where we end up. Fold to 9-3. We'd have had everything. Hard to get paid though. We would have had the high top boat and quads. Yeah. Okay, well, make sure you guys go watch some other streams, throw them up, throw them in the background if you're playing poker. All that really does help the channel. We really do appreciate it. Um, we are really hoping to actually get monetized within the next like 30 days to 45 days. So, and that's, that's going to be up to me to keep the stream rolling, making some more videos. We are trying to post a short every day, just like a clip from the stream, to at least draw some traffic to the channel. And yeah, so hit that sub button, check out some other videos, and we'll see everybody next time.